Yeah, so you know how I met Eric was his sister just walked in to get a tattoo. And this is at the old shop. This is like fucking 12 years ago now or whatever, you know? And I'm tattooing her, just a little tattoo. And she says, hey, my little brother, you know, he's starting to tattoo, you know, he's tattooing on his friends in the garage. And I was like, oh, that's cool, tell him to keep it up, you know? And she's all, you think maybe you could do an apprenticeship? I go, maybe. I said, you know, have him come over here, let me meet him, you know? And so he came the next day. Oh, I told her, like, how old is he? And she said 17. And I was like, you know, he's gonna have to wait till he's 18, but tell him to come and meet us, and you know, we'll see what's up. And so he came the next day, you know, and smoother than a Foster Farm chicken, man. No tattoos, looking like the Woodland Hills white boy, you know what I mean? And in talking with him, I realized right away, because Eric's really cool. He don't act tough or nothing, but he is. Like, I don't want to fight with Eric. You know what I mean? Like, I've trained with him, and the trainers be like, Eric, just go like 80% on droopy, because he's going to kick my ass. You know what I mean? Like, but he's very humble. He ain't going to say shit. So I figured that out in talking with him that first day. You know, I was like, okay, this fool seems like he's cool. And he was telling me about how he was going to go to art school right after high school. And I'm like, why aren't you doing it? And he had told me how his father had passed away. I don't know if you guys got into that earlier. And he told me the whole story. And he's like, now I need to take care of my mom and my sister. I can't go anywhere. And I just respected it. I respected him. Even though he was a kid, I respected him. And I was like, hey, man, if you want to start, you know what I mean? Come on over here, man. We'll start doing it. And that fool was relentless, man. You know what I mean? He was there every day, like straight after school till like 12 at night. You know what I mean? He'd be the last one there.
This is where it all happens. I got some pieces by some friends and some other artists, and this one here, my buddy Stevie gave me this one. He tattoos at Lincoln Tattoo and 10,000 Waves. Yeah, I've just like acquired some art from some homies over the years. Chris Garcia did that. Baby Ray did this one down here. Jack Rudy. This is like tattoos that I've done. I just kind of glued onto canvas. This is it. This is, you know, this is where it all happens. Ever since I was a young kid, I wanted to be a tattooer because of Tattoo TV. Like I was interested in it because it gave me a glimpse as a kid into what it's like being a tattooer. Like the LA Inks and the Miami Inks, like the original Tattoo TV was like, I would say like my first like glimpse into like what what I thought like tattooing could be. But then growing up at the skate park. Just all the older dudes that were, tattooed, punk rockers, dudes like coming home from prison. Like I always thought like just that look of dude was like, I want to be like those guys, like I want to like in some way, shape or form, like those were the dudes that I, kind of looked up to. And so that it just sparked my interest, looking at, everyone's work. And like in like middle school and high school, like there would be like the career projects where it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And every single time it was tattooer. But I didn't think it would actually, it wasn't like I didn't think it would ever happen, because when my dad was still alive, he was an electrical contractor, and the plan was just to work with him and work construction. But early in my senior year of high school, he passed away. So there was like threw a wrench in my plan. And then it wasn't short after that I got into tattooing, and yeah, it's pretty much been that ever since.
I was at Rick Walters' Celebration of Life benefit. I believe it was in Garden Grove at a shop out there, and they had like a full wall of art and whatnot, and I believe all the proceeds like went to a good cause and whatnot. And I had been tattooed by Rick, so I went there to try and get a piece, commemorating him or something that had to do with it. And I saw like this painting here, and it's not even a painting, it's actually like a pencil drawing that Eric did. I did not know him at all by any means. Never met the dude in my life, even though we grew up in the same area. But I bought this because of just what it was. And then on the back, it had his contact information. And on the back of the piece of paper, it had like a little note saying like contact me or whatever. And so I contacted him, and like we've been kind of pretty much friends ever since. I believe this was in 2018. It's kind of dated on the bottom there with a little signature behind there. But it's an old school drawing of an Impala. And it was kind of like the way I met him. And then we just became cool, you know, like just kind of meeting in the valley and being a part of the scene. So this is kind of pretty cool because it shows a little bit of history. And then now it's kind of funny. He taught me how to tattoo, and he, you know, or was one of the people that taught me how to tattoo. But he, you know, almost 10 years later, I work with him, and it's kind of cool because now I have like a story to commemorate him by, you know, especially something that's almost a decade old. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, thank you, Eric. I appreciate you.
My senior year, my buddy Tyler Kerr, his dad was kind of like a career prison guy, you know, and he got out of prison, and like him and I were influenced by him for sure. You know, like he would come around, and you know, I didn't spend too much time around him, but when he would come around, I'd be like, man, that dude's cool. He's got all the black and gray tattoos, but that kind of like influence led to Tyler to he would tattoo himself in the garage when we were in high school. So he had pretty much 2 leg sleeves when we were young teenagers, and I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And pretty much like me drawing and him tattooing himself kind of turned into like, hey man, let me do one on you, like let me try. And he was like, hell yeah, like it was not even a question. So he let me do my first tattoos on him. And that's kind of how it started. My mom, like I would just tattoo in the garage in high school, and yeah, that was like the early days. Tyler was the one that was kind of showing me like, yeah, do it like this, or like my dad showed me this, and you know, and that turned into like other friends. I mean, we were all so young, so no one had like an established like tattoo guy yet, you know. So I was just like, Eric's doing tattoos, like go over to the garage. So yeah, was tattooing in the garage in my senior year. I would go to school, I would get out of school early, and then we would go to the pad and just go tattoo.
How I met Eric was one of my buddies had gotten tattooed, and I loved the work that he had gotten. He had gotten some roses and stuff. As you can see on my arm, I got a bunch of roses, but really liked it. And he goes, follow him on Instagram. So I hit him up on Instagram, and sure enough, he's like, cool, let's schedule an appointment. Come down here. I didn't live local. I moved away for a little bit right when I turned 18, and then I drove about 5 hours to come see him. From the moment I told him who referred me, we were best buds. Like because we grew up riding dirt bikes, stuff like that. Eric rode dirt bikes when he was younger. His pops was a big dirt bike guy, so it was kind of one of those things where we found common ground. And from that point forward, coolest, easiest artist, most professional artist that I could ever ask for.
Yeah, so this is what we were working on, Drew. It's the outlaw and sheriff standoff, bank robbery kind of deal. Yeah, today's the last day. It'll be done after today. Everything was there today, but we were just kind of going through corners and smoothing some things out and darkening some things, like just a little final pass through of the whole deal. And then, yeah, this one's a wrap.
I made the right decision bringing him on, because here we are like 12 years later, and like he's my partner in crime now. You know, this is, when I leave here, this is going to be him, you know. And yeah, you know, I can't say enough, like maybe when it comes to his art, right? So this is a trip. Eric has his own style, you know, and I watched it happen. Like when he first came, he was like, I want to be a traditional artist. I don't want to do shit else. I just want to be a traditional artist. All right, whatever you want, dude. You know what I mean? Do your thing. And I noticed right away his line work was really, really good. And I was like, hey man, you know, like this dude's line work's better than mine. And he's just starting, like this shit ain't cool, you know, but I knew he was going to be good right then. And there was a few of us homies that worked there at the time. Me and this dude Pee-wee, another homie named Cranky. And we all do black and gray realism. So, you know, he's there and he's watching us, and he's like, oh man, this is kind of cool, you know. So he starts trying to do it, you know, and now he's kind of getting away from the traditional a little bit, right? And he kind of like morphed those two styles into one, and people like it, you know what I mean? It's like realism, but with kind of like a heavier outline. His tattoos are very strong, right? And then he went on a trip that he was only going to do single needle, and he stayed on that trip for like a year. Every tattoo he did was single needle. And when you're doing single needle, you can't shade like you do with different needles. It's just like flick shading, you know, turn it down real low when you're packing and then just flick shading. And he got over that, you know what I mean? Because that's crazy, only doing, you know, and he got over that, but then he incorporated that style into, you know what I mean, what he was already doing. And shit, I think you're gonna probably show some of his tattoos on this, you know what I mean? So everyone will see what I'm talking about, you know, but yeah, I watched it like morph into his own style that's like strong tattoos, you know, kind of a little bit thicker outline than you would use for realism. You still see the flick shading, you know what I mean? It's a trip and it's cool, people like it, you know, and he's killing it, man. He's killing it, he's doing his thing.
All those people that were working here at the time were like, when I apprenticed, that's who I was picking up like all of my game from when I first started. I was nervous. I was nervous and excited just because it's, I mean, you hear horror stories of apprenticeships, at least I had, you know, like that, like, oh, they're going to make you do all this shit. And, you know, so and I was ready for it. Like I was wanting it. My mom was kind of over me tattooing in the garage because she's like, I mean, she doesn't know. So she's like, I'm going to get in trouble. Like all these minors are getting tattooed at my house. Like you can't be doing this shit. And I mean, she was very supportive, but there was a level of like, hey man, like you got to like, you know, maybe learn legit because you don't know what you're doing, which was true. It was good advice. But so when I was coming over here, I was excited. I didn't know Droop. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know like anything about him. And so I was just trying to come in with like a, you know, try not to seem nervous, you know, because I was nervous, man. I was like driving to the shop like, fuck, like what do I say? Like how do I act? I don't have any tattoos, never been tattooed. I've done like a handful of tattoos on my buddies, but I don't know how like a shop operates. I mean, I've seen shit on TV, but you know, that's not like real, you know, it's TV shit. So yeah, when I came in, I was like super nervous. I was just like, hey, how's it going? And like sat down and just like waited for them to talk to me. And Droop was like, come over here, man. Like, what's up? Like, he's just like being Droop. He's like the coolest dude. So yeah, I just got to talking to him. And yeah, that's when they said, all right, man, come back tomorrow.
The fact that he like freehands everything is insane to me. You know what I mean? Just like he could look at someone's arm, know what they want, draw it on, and tattoo it, and then it's like it's pretty intense. You know, it's cool. You know, that's why I'm glad I learned here, because the way I learned was under something like that. You know, like you get it done right. I mean, he's a very underrated tattooer that I feel is he's one of my favorite tattooers. I don't tell him that, but he's one of my favorite tattooers. I wouldn't have asked him to learn to tattoo if that wasn't the case. I didn't just do it to learn, but I could just say that he's a solid dude. He represents where he's from with passion, and he knows how to tattoo and how to do it right. Yeah.
I was able to do tattoos like as an apprentice. Like I wasn't like doing walk-ins, but if I could like hustle friends or whatever, then they could come in and get tattooed. So I was doing apprentice tattoos for a while, you know, and yeah, I would say like maybe like a year and a half, probably like a year and a half I was like able to do walk-ins, you know, from like the day I came in here to like really doing like what, I mean, I wouldn't like overstep, you know, if there was something I couldn't do or didn't feel comfortable doing, I wouldn't do it. But if it was like a reasonable walk-in for like what I was able to do at the time, like I was able to do it. Let's say like a year and a half.
Yeah, he had a part-time job as a butcher, and yeah, he figured out pretty quick that, you know, 1 or 2 tattoos, even as an apprentice, was going to pay him what a whole week's work at that meat place was, you know. So he wasn't there very long, you know.
I didn't get into tattooing thinking like, fuck, I want to make all this dough. Like I'm gonna like make all this. I thought it was so cool that I just wanted to learn how to do it. And like when I tattooed Tyler, it wasn't like, it was really bad, but it wasn't like it was like a shit show. Like, but it was just like enough where it was like, oh, I want to make this better. Like, how can I get better at this? And so I had the luxury of not having like real bills yet. You know, like that didn't come for like another year. But yeah, it was. There's never been a time where I felt like, oh man, I'm making a misstepping here. Like, it was just. Yeah, it wasn't until I came here. Like, this is the first shop I got my first tattoo here. My first tattoo shop I ever been in. I did my apprenticeship here, and it wasn't until I got here that I was like, oh, this is like, people are making grown-up money. You know, this is a career, because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was just wanting to learn and like learn from someone or some people that like knew what they were doing, so I could make my I could just do better tattoos was what I was going for. And then it wasn't until you get kind of going and you're like, oh, this could be it. And I was working at this meat market at the time. I was working at Jim's Meat Market as a butcher, and I don't know like how deep into the apprenticeship I was. Maybe like a year or something. I had to talk with Droop, like, man, I'm gonna quit the meat market, because I was making enough money. Like, it wasn't like I had a rent to like some crazy bills. Like it was just like the perfect storm, because I was so young, and Droop let me start so young that I was able to take the money that I was making from my apprentice tattoos and just kind of like that was enough to just do the day-to-day stuff. And then in a couple year, 2 years when I went out on my own, it was enough to, with roommates, to kind of like make everything happen. And now it's kind of evolved into like just my career. This is what I'll do probably till the day I die.
Yeah, this industry is just like any other, man. You got to dedicate yourself to it. You got to work at it. You got to try to get better. Even when you start getting good, you still, you know what I mean? And he's always understood that, and he's always been willing to put in the work and whatever it takes to do it.
My focus on tattooing will always be, and it will never change, it's just making the person getting tattooed happy. I want to check all their boxes before my own, and and if in that process I get to create something that satisfies the soul, that's cool. But first and foremost, it's just giving the person a good experience, giving them something that they're proud to wear, and that will always be the goal for me. In tattooing, the specifics. I'd like to do large scale stuff. I like to do black and gray stuff, but that's not what it's about. Tattooing is about. It's a craft first, So it's about giving the people what they want, doing a good job, being efficient, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think it was yesterday, or the day before. Who was it? Was it? I think it was my client. Was watching Eric draw something on, and the guy he was drawing on commented about it, and Eric was like, well, sometimes I'll just draw a little bit, you know what I mean? Motherfucker, you draw mostly everything. What are you talking about, right? But and then my client said something, and like I said, he's very humble. He's not like, yeah, not everybody could do this, but nah, he's like, you know what? I draw a little here and there when I have to, you know what I mean? Motherfucker, you draw almost everything on, but that's just him. He's humble. Yeah. He's humble,
I would say just get into it because you really like it. Don't get into it thinking you're just gonna make a bunch of dough and you're gonna just be that guy right off the bat, because that's kind of not how it works at all. You just gotta really like it. You gotta be really into it. It's not like a thing you could just jump into and I'm working here. I'm tired of this shitty job. I'm gonna go be a tattooer. It's a lifestyle. You gotta live for this shit. You gotta put the time in. There's no substitute for the reps, and just putting your head down and doing the work. Because Instagram, social media and stuff, there are straight penthouse tattooers that they live a great life. Tattooing can provide you a great life, but if that's what you want to get out of it, then maybe rethink, because it's a craft first, and you got to respect the craft and make sure make sure your heart's in it, because you'll just get frustrated that you're not booked out 3 years in a penthouse, because it's not the norm, the money's a blessing, but really it's you got to make sure you like it, make sure you're into it, respect it, and and if you do all those things and you do the work, get your reps in, you'll be just fine. Yeah.
He gave me my first legit tattoo. I have one stupid one I got when I was 17 years old in the Bahamas on my thigh, And then having gone from an artist like that to an artist like Eric, it's a big difference because truly, like I said, he's very welcoming when you walk in the shop, introduces himself, and then from that point forward, we've been homies ever since. I couldn't have asked for a better dude. I mean, I would grab a beer with Eric any day, anytime. So I'm very, very grateful to have him as my artist.
I want my legacy just to be, man, he treated me well. Like, he was good to me. Everything, you know, short of that is whatever. You know, I just want, like, just people to have made people happy and give them something that they want and something that they can walk around with for the rest of their living, you know, their life, you know, that's something that they could take pride in and know that, like, the experience associated to this tattoo is something they're fond of. You know, that's what I want the legacy to be. So shout out Droop, everyone at the shop. Shout out to everyone I get that you know, gets tattooed by me and is interested in it, and you know, shout out to my beautiful, loving wife, Taylor. She's great. This is Eric Eckert. You're watching Blasted Network. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time to check out what we put together. Come get tattooed. Hit me up on the email, ericeckertbooking@gmail.com, SoCal Tattoo in Tarzana. Yeah, let's make it happen. Thanks for watching.
Other than his big ass head, everything will be all right. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching Blasted Network. No, that's not. Should I say my name first? I don't. This is where I'm gonna fuck it up, dude. This is where I'm totally gonna fuck this up. I'm gonna fuck this up. This is Eric Eckert. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, dude.
Blasted.
Yeah, like fucking welcome to Disney Channel.
Yeah, fucking Blasted Network. Yeah. Blasted Network.
Blasted Network.
All right. So I'm built for this shit. I'm all shaky. I'm like sweating. Can you see the sweat on my forehead? My hat's fucking starting to get all wet.
Turning all yellow.
Fuck, that was stressful. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you did great, dude.
You think so?
Yeah, just from listening, yeah. You did
Fuck.